Is your operating system bloated? Do web pages load in slowly? Do you have Chinese spyware watching you whatever you do?
Well, I've got the perfect solution for you, Arch Linux. In this video, we'll show you how to install Arch from scratch. First, you want to find yourself a USB stick that you want to use as your installation medium. This is what you were going to be installing the operating system on and from. Plug it into your computer. Open Internet Explorer and type in Arch Linux download. And it's the first result. Once in here, scroll down till you find the mirror lists and click the first link. And hit on Arch Linux 2024 x86-64 ISO. And your download should begin just like that. Next up, we're going to install an application called Rufus, which we're going to be using to install the ISO image onto the USB stick. So once again, open up Internet Explorer and type in Rufus. Hit enter and it should be the first result. Once in here, scroll a bit down till you find the download section and download the latest rufus.exe. And your download should begin just like that. Open the exe and in the device list you will want to choose your USB stick, which in my case is no label disk 1 64 gigabytes. Hit select and select the Arch ISO image that you just downloaded. Hit start, and for older computers such as mine you will want to write in DD image mode. Hit OK. Now that we have our Arch install medium, we want to insert it into the machine while it's off and turn on the machine. While the device is booting, you want to mash F10 and F12. These are the default keys to enter the boot menu, where you can choose which device you want to boot your operating system from. Here you want to choose your USB stick. In my case is Kingston Data Traveler 3.0. And this will boot into the Arch installer. Alright, so now that you've booted from the USB stick, when you wait long enough, you will enter to this screen. This is the Arch installer. Here, you will start by loading our keys. In my case, it's in Norwegian, so it's load keys NO. And then we're going to configure networks. So you want to type in IWCTL to enter the network configuration. And from here, you want to type in device list. This will list all of the network devices that are on your computer. In my case, I only have VLAN 0, and this is what I'm going to be using to connect to the internet. So VLAN 0 is a station, so we're going to define that station, VLAN 0. In your case, it might say something else, then you're going to want to do station and then what it says on the device. I'm going to do scan, station VLAN 0 get dash networks, and this will list all of the Wi-Fi connections that it can find. In our case, we want to connect to Tischdag. So then we're going to type in station VLAN 0 connect Tischdag, and then just type in the password for your Wi-Fi. Now that we have loaded our keys and connected to the internet, we will now start the actual installation process. The Arch installer includes a fantastic non-buggy script called Arch install to install your Arch very easily. So you're going to type in Arch installer, one word, and hit enter, and the Arch installer will start. Alright, so this is the Arch installer. This is where you're actually going to install the operating system so you can use it on your computer. We have a couple of configurations here listed down here, and some of them we have to change. For example, the first one we're going to change is locales. Once you boot into Arch, you will have the default US keyboard layout with the locale language. I want to change this. I want to have the Norwegian keyboard layout, which means that I'm going to go into keyboard layout and go from US to NO. And click back. And next, this is the most important one, disk configuration. Unless you are some super nerd, like the guy behind the camera, you want to use a best effort default partition layout. Choose your drive. My drive on my computer is this 1 terabyte drive, so I will choose this. And you will want to choose ext4 for your partitioning. Then it is common practice to just have your home partition to be separate. You don't need to know much about this part. It's just common practice. Disk encryption we can skip all the way down to the root password. Here you will type the password you will use whenever you want to do something that creates administrator privileges on your computer. So I'm just going to type in my password. There. So each time you go into the terminal and you type sudo or su, you will get this prompted to enter this password. Next, we will want to create a user account. Add a user. I will type in my name and my password. Now, seeing as this is my private computer and this is the only user that's going to be on it, I want to make myself a super user, which will give me administrator privileges on the machine. And you can type, go to confirm and exit. And profile is next. This is where we're going to be choosing the desktop environment we want to use. So just click to here, and then you're going to choose desktop. And the most used desktop environments is XFCE, Cinnamon, GNOME, something like that. But today I will use Mint. And then here you can just click back. And for audio, we are going to use Pipewire. Additional packages. This is just where you want to have some additional applications, for example, like Firefox as your browser, Thunderbird as your emailing service. If you're cool, you have NeoFetch. If you're a programmer, you have Git, stuff like that. And then we'll check for, and then once you press enter, we'll check for the packages. And there you go. For network configuration, you always want to choose Network Manager. You do not want to configure your network yourself. It is a pain in the ass. For the time zone, we're just going to make it easy. Click on it and scroll all the way down till you find a city that is in your time zone. So for me, that will be Europe, Oslo. So we're going to stay there for a while. There it is, Europe, Oslo. And those are all the configurations we need or want. So then you can just go down to install, hit enter once again, and the installation will start by itself. Now that the installation process has finished, you get this option. No! Never type yes to this. Now, you just want to type reboot. And once your computer has shut off and the screen goes black, you want to take out the USB stick and you will boot into Arch. So here the screens are back, try to take out the USB stick. And once we wait for the boot process to happen, so we have grub. Here is the grub. We want to choose Arch Linux and press enter. And loading Linux. Arch is booting. Here we are now at the login screen. You will type in the password that you entered for your user in the installation process. And welcome to Arch Linux. Now I'm going to show you a neat trick to impress all of your Arch friends or Windows noob friends. If you're like me and Chill's mate, you want to choose white on black for your terminal. This is not very important, you can figure this out later. Type in NeoFetch, and boom. all of your Windows noob friends will be super impressed. Now that Arch is installed, we can successfully say that we have learned how to make a USB stick with a ISO image on it, how we have installed Arch, look cool in the terminal, and how we can impress our Windows friends. Catch you later in our 7-hour tutorial on how to install Gentoo.